So we've done a lot of different mods to the C8 Corvette, but one area in particular that I've neglected is the engine bay. But we're gonna change all that in today's episode. So thanks for tuning in, guys. So like I said, today's episode, we're gonna be looking at the engine bay, and this is gonna be a one of two episodes. So today's episode, we're gonna be looking at the engine cover itself and kind of spicing it up and making it look really, really nice and stand out. And the best part about it is that we're only gonna be spending less than $30 and it is completely reversible. So if I don't like it, I can go in and change it out and start over. In episode 2, I'm really excited. We'll be able to transform the rest of this engine bay, and it all comes from ACS Composites. And I'm really excited to share it. I think it's gonna completely transform this engine bay. But that's not today's episode, that's gonna be coming up. So keep an eye out for that, because you're definitely gonna wanna see it. So like I said before, guys, we're gonna be looking at the engine cover and taking that out, and we're going to transform it and make it look really, really nice. As compared to the kind of satin black, is not as distinguishable and just kind of blends into everything. We're gonna look at spicing that up, and how we're gonna do that is actually gonna be a mix of Plastidip and car vinyl to do that. Now, yes, this is gonna be a Plastidip video, but Plastidip actually has come quite a long way from what it used to be. You can get some really, really nice coloring and make it look like a professional paint job if it's done properly. Now, an example of that actually are my OEM wheels. I actually had Plastidip them a little while ago just because I was experimenting with what a bronze look would look like on my C8 when I got my ERAY wheels. So I wanted to kind of look how it was, and these came out fantastic in my opinion. So yeah, so this is Plastidip, actually, believe it or not, and it's actually held up really, really well. I did drive with these on for quite a bit, and this is something I had done myself. It wasn't anything that I had done professionally. I spent maybe, I think, $60 total, maybe a little bit more, to do this kind of finish, and the finish looks really, really good. So this is actually kind of the color I've been thinking about in regards to doing the engine cover, and doing this and then doing maybe the lettering in a vinyl carbon fiber and seeing how that goes. I think it's going to be really cool, but we won't know until after the fact. But the best thing, like I said before, is that this is removable. I could peel this off, and all the OEM factory paint, which is like the black with the silver lining around, that's all been protected and would all look fresh. So we're gonna do the same thing, but with this, I already have a little bit of Plastidip that I just kind of played around with beforehand, because this is usually just silver, but we're gonna completely transform this and see how it's gonna look doing that color for the base and then carbon fiber for the linings there. And yeah, just kind of see how it goes. So let's get this out of the car, get it all prepped and ready to go, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna be using exactly to do the spray. So alright guys, so we have set up the engine cover, and it's all ready to go. As you can see, I did put a little bit of masking tape on the center because I kind of want that a little bit of black in the center, kind of just balance out the look that I'm trying to go for. Now I did prep up this area a little bit just so I don't have a whole bunch of spraying all over the place. But in particular, what I'm going to be spraying again is Plastidip right here. So this is your general Plastidip that you can get from like Walmart or whatnot. But in particular, it's not just this. So this is just going to be a flat black in regards to a base coat. Now what I'm going to be doing to kind of enhance and get that kind of color that you saw on the wheels is I'm going to be using what is called a dip pearl, which is this from here, and it comes from dipyourcar.com, and it's actually really good stuff. So this stuff all lays down kind of like how you would regular paint, where you're doing multiple layers. You're not just doing it in one single layer, you're doing multiple layers, and as it builds up, you get the effect that you're looking for. So we're going to be doing about 4 coats of the base, and then another 3-4 coats of this dip pearl, and then finishing it off with this, which is a Glossifier. Now what this does is exactly what you think. It helps glossify the effect. It's not going to give you like a true gloss like a paint job would, but it goes from giving the dip more from like a matte-ish type look to a more satin to getting into the glossy kind of look, all from a spray can, which is pretty amazing. It's actually really good. Like, this is the kind of stuff that is really good in regards to doing jobs like this. When you're not just stuck with a color after you've applied it, this stuff is very easy to peel off. If you saw in the time lapse, I peeled off some of the Plastidip that I had already on there, and it took 2 seconds. One, because I properly applied it, because you need to have enough layers to make a nice thick coat that you can peel off. But 2 is just, that's just what it is. It's very easy to work with. And if you don't like it, just take it off and just start over again or do a different color. So if you're thinking of doing this, a couple of quick tips is obviously you do want to make sure that you clean the part or whatever you're going to be doing very thoroughly, just like you would if you were doing a real paint job. It helps the dip apply much better. And then secondly, you do want to make sure that these cans are warmed up. So if you get like a tub of water that's just warm water that you could put your fingers in and they're not gonna burn, that's the kind of temperature you're looking for. Put the cans in there for about 10-15 minutes, get them warmed up, and it'll spray much more evenly and give you a lot better final look. So we're gonna paint the whole thing in that Plastidip color, but then what we're gonna do afterwards is the silver Corvette pieces right here. We're actually gonna go in and use some vivid vinyl, that's the carbon fiber vinyl here, and we're gonna overlay that carbon fiber vinyl over those spots. Now, putting that all together, it should come out to look pretty decently nice. Now, and all in all, this is gonna cost you about $35. If you just did the black Plastidip and then a dip pearl and then just did the vinyl, you're looking at like $30 all in all to do that, which is pretty good for something that if you're just trying to experiment and you want to figure out what you want to do for like your car cover, they have a ton of different colors to work with. So you don't have to get stuck to just doing one color if you want. I mean, you can do it in an orange, you can do it in a red, purple, green, any color you can think of. You can practically do. And all the dip colors and stuff like that, the ones that I usually go with are from dipyourcar.com, and I'll have a link in the description so you can check it out. Highly recommend them, especially even you can definitely do things like wheels and all that stuff. And that's honestly, if you're looking for something that's a cheaper mod to get your foot in the door of what you want to do to customize your C8 or any car actually. Sometimes Plastidip gets a bad rap, but honestly, I love it for what it is. It's a nice, cheap, do-it-yourself option, and it's reversible. You can just peel it off and it's back to being OEM. So in any case, this stuff is ready to go. So let's go ahead and get started on this. So alrighty guys, so we finished transforming this engine cover and it looks pretty darn good. Now, I will admit, I think the carbon fiber vinyl is a little hard to read, especially the Corvette wording of it. It's kind of a little hard to read, so I may or may not keep that. And honestly, that's the whole point. I can take it off, put something else on, and it's not anything that's permanent. So we'll see. I'm gonna let it sit for a few days and let it grow on me or whatnot. But what do you guys think of it? Do you guys think that it looks good? Let me know in the comments. Now, if you're curious about the actual Plastidip color, it's called burnt copper, and it comes from dipyourcar.com. I'll have links in the description below so you could check it out if you're interested. If you're curious about how many coats that it took to get to this look, it was 5 layers of black base and then another 5 layers of the copper color, and then another 3-4 layers of the Glossifier to give it a little bit more of a glossy look. So that's how much it took to actually get that through, and I had to wait about 15-20 minutes between coats to actually get for each coat to dry properly, and you kind of just build it up. So it's kind of similar to doing like just paint jobs where you got to build up the layers. You can't just do it in 1 or 2, but in the end it looks really good for what you get. And I spent less than $30 on all this, so I mean, I'm pretty darn happy with it. And if I wasn't, I could just remove it all and just start over again. So that is episode 1 of 2 in transforming this engine bay. The second part, I'm really excited to show you guys. When that video comes out, you'll see it right here. But in the meantime, check out any of my other videos and we'll see you next time.